with Albert Hitchcock, Group CIO of Vodafone. Hi, Albert.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, and you. And today we've been talking about customer experience and how to improve it. And one of the key themes we were talking about was data analytics. And we talked about how you guys are doing something like £1 billion a year CapEx program, transforming your core systems globally. One of the key drivers of that being data analytics. Why do you think that's so important? And why is, you also said this is going to be a big year for it, this coming year. Why is that?
I think it's an interesting point that for the first time really we're really focusing on how do we get to a completely unified view of the customer. And of course, many of our back-end systems have been quite siloed historically. So we've had a mobile networks view of the customer, we've had a fixed line view of the customer, we've had an enterprise view of the customer, but we haven't truly pulled that together as an integrated single view. And so a lot of the investment, a lot of the effort that we're making right now is to give that combined integrated view. Once we've got that, that enables us to have a really sort of solid baseline on which to then start looking at how do we take that information we know about the customer and combine it with some of the real-time information that's coming out of the network, as an example, some of the demographic information we know about the customer from our CRM environments, and to pull that together in a very integrated way to enable us to start offering our customers services and products that they really want.
So step one is really pulling it all together so it's comprehensible.
Yes.
And then step two is looking at it to find out what it's telling you and what you can get from it. And what are the kind of things you expect it to tell you or have already found that it's telling you, yes, and that you think you'll get from that process?
Well, the first step is to create, in that single view, a knowledge of what are the products and services that customers are buying. Historically, we may have had a single customer that bought mobile services from us, who was also a fixed line customer, and maybe that person was also a member of a company that we were also selling services to, and we had no knowledge of that integrated suite of products and services we were selling to that individual. So for the first time we know exactly what we're selling to that person. But beyond that, it's really saying, okay, with that baseline knowledge, and then we can start to combine that with a real-time view. What I mean by real-time is, from the network we know where you're located. We know within a couple of 100 meters where you are because of the triangulation from the base stations. We also understand what type of customer you are. Are you a roaming customer or are you within your country of origin? We also know your demographic, where you live from your bill. We also know the sorts of services you're buying from us. We probably also have a view of the sorts of interests you may have from the types of information that you're downloading over the network, the sorts of interest, the websites you may be going to. Now, clearly there's a privacy issue that we have to deal with there because we want to make sure that our customers are comfortable with us knowing that information. But at the end of the day, we can build up a very rich understanding of the customer, so much so that we can do very accurate targeting to those customers about sorts of things that they may want to know and desire to know in a very real-time sense.
What have been the earliest findings that you've made from the data that you've looked at so far? What are the things you've been able to do with that?
Well, interestingly, we started a program a couple of years ago putting deep probes into the radio network. So we can see what our customers, the service that our customers are receiving. So are they receiving a high-quality service from us? Are they having dropped calls, as an example? What sort of content are they downloading over the network? What's their history? What are the journeys they're taking? The point of origin and the point of end. So if someone's driving in a car, where did they start the journey? Where did they end the journey? And we found a situation where we had some very high-value enterprise customers who'd had a couple of dropped calls on the network, and we were able to proactively go back to those customers and apologise for dropping their calls. And what we got from that was actually an enormous positive response. Wow, I've never had that from a mobile operator. Someone actually apologised to me for dropping a call. Yes. And then you could start to do some really interesting things. You can go to a customer and say, we apologise we dropped your call and we're going to credit your account, €10 or whatever, because we did that. Or I'm just using a sort of an example. Yes, but yes, it allows you to proactively go back and actually talk to a customer based upon the experience that we've been able to give them. So it's a very, very powerful capability, which we're just at the start of sort of exploiting.
And those are great customer experience, customer care type facilities. What are the other things? I mean, we've been talking a lot about commerce, payments, advertising. Indeed, the value of that data to external parties. How do you see that moving?
I think we're at the start of an interesting inflection point, really, where things like mobile payments, mobile commerce, mobile advertising. A lot of these things are going to be enabled by that inherent, rich understanding of the customer, both a historical understanding, but also a real-time understanding of what the customer is doing at any given point in time. There are also some interesting security benefits as well. We think about the way we use credit cards today, and very often, it's very frustrating. You go and try and make a payment on your credit card, and the credit card is stopped, or the transaction is questioned. If the credit card company knew that you were where you were when you were making the transaction, and you had your mobile phone with you, that could add an interesting additional piece of security information that may obviate the need for them to call you or to call the broker to say, can we do a security check on the card? So, real-time location-based information combined with sort of deep understanding of customer behavior enables a whole range of new capabilities that we probably even haven't thought of. Mobile advertising, I think, is at the start of a significant growth spurt. And it's going to be made really valuable by, again, this real-time view of customer insight, and also based upon the interest of the customer to receive the information that would be promoted to them. I think everyone's familiar with iPads and tablets, being able to read newspapers on a device or magazines on a device. We're seeing rapid growth in that sort of content. But to have the adverts in those journals actually tailored for you as a consumer, as opposed to being, vanilla broadcast to you irrespective of who you are. So tailored advertising, I think, as well as, and tailored content on your own personal preferences, again, based upon that rich understanding.
So would you be as bold as to say that, really now is the time of mobile advertising and mobile payments? Do you think this really is the time it's going to start to happen?
I think it's really going to...
false dawns we've had before.
I think it's really going to happen in the next, couple of years. The next 12, 18 months are sort of a foundational phase to get the architecture established. But yes, I have no doubt that this is going to take off.
Albert, thank you so much for the time today. Pleasure speaking to you.
Pleasure speaking to you.